Can we just let people feel the way they feel? Like, why do everything needs to be personal?
It's really an issue. Yeah, but you must integrate. You must integrate because it doesn't affect you alone. It affects other people, you know?
It's hard to change overnight. Where do you think I would go and sit down?
You choose the white people.
Exactly. And why?
Because you're a racist.
No, absolutely not. Because that's where I'm more comfortable. This is human nature.
Terrifies me more is that you are seated here and you're trying to give justification for segregation. Call them away from civilization.
Honestly,
people are going through depression.
Listen,
people are going through
but do you know what?
PTSD.
Can I tell you something?
And you are keeping them in a forest, in a bush.
Let me tell
Segregation.
Oh, okay. Does it still exist today? And like in 2024?
Yeah, as an African, I know it does.
Yeah. Well, how come? Where did you notice it last?
In the bus, you see white people sit separately from the colored people.
Yeah.
And
is that so weird though? Like when you think about it,
it's weird. Like just imagine you're in a bus that is packed with people, and the only seat that is available is where a black man is seated.
Yeah.
You see like a bunch of white people standing in the bus because they don't want to sit close to a black man.
Well,
like that is segregation, right?
I wouldn't really call it segregation, honestly.
Why not?
Because I think like on the bus, it's a very cramped space, right?
Yeah.
And you need to feel comfortable in that cramped space. And I think as a lot of people...
Comfortable standing.
Rather, maybe, yeah.
No, I'm telling you that...
Than sitting next to something that doesn't feel safe.
The only seats that are available are those that are occupied by black people.
I've experienced this myself on the train, on the bus, wherever. If the train is packed or the bus is packed with people and there is, let's say, a man. I will take a man as an example now.
Yeah.
And it's a black man. Of course, I will not sit down there. I'm sorry, but I won't do it.
Why?
I wouldn't feel safe.
You see? Segregation.
Because we have bad experience. I mean, all these things come also from personal experience. You know, you experienced...
You've had bad experience with black people?
Yeah, especially like I remember when I was a few years back and I went home from, I don't know if it was at night maybe, I can't remember. I remember walking, there was a group of guys, black guys, maybe African, could be. And you know, when you want to pass them, they're always like, you know, whistling, they're saying...
Catcalling.
Yeah, sexistic things. And it's very uncomfortable. Like it makes a woman uncomfortable. And this
white people don't do that too.
Do they? I don't know.
You've not had an experience.
I had experience. I get it that it's not fair to say that it's only black people. I get it, but I'm more comfortable around white people because that's how I grew up, right? So for me, it's more normal to be catcalled by white guys than black guys.
Okay.
The black guys are intimidating. I'm not going to lie. If I see a group of black guys, it's intimidating.
Okay. Just imagine you're in a place, maybe you're in Africa, right? And you are seated in the bus, but everyone in the bus, they were just circumventing your seat. Like they don't want to sit close to you. Yeah. They don't even want to look at you. And the bus is packed and you can see people standing.
Yeah.
But right beside you is an empty seat and no one is sitting close to you. How would you feel?
I would be happy.
You would be happy?
Yeah, of course. Like finally I can breathe. Like
you won't feel like you're being, segregated or...
Why is this an issue? Can we just let people feel the way they feel? Like why do everything needs to be personal?
It's really an issue.
Why though?
Because I've had complaints from Africans in Europe now say that they sit on the bus. Yeah. The bus is packed, but no one wants to sit close to them.
And they take it personal?
Of course.
Like a racism thing or what?
Of course.
But why is it bad?
Because it means that first of all, okay, let's go back to that example of you being in Africa. The first thing that will come to a normal human being, the first thing that will come to your mind is, oh, these people, they must see me as different.
I am different.
First.
Why can't we just accept that?
First, okay, you are different.
Yeah.
But now they don't want to sit close to me. Like, is it the cologne I have on? Am I smelling bad? Or is it my skin color? We all know that black people are very clean, We civilize you guys. We taught you guys how to clean your bum and whatnot.
I think white people are very clean as well.
But look, you smell yourself and you feel like, I smell good, like I'm fresh, But these people are choosing not to sit with me deliberately.
Yeah. Still, why does it need to be so personal?
It is personal because you are the only one in the bus that people are refusing to sit close to just because of your skin color.
Do you think a white person would feel that way? Do you think they would see it as a negative thing?
Yes.
Or is it just black people that would see it as a negative thing?
How would you feel?
I wouldn't care.
You wouldn't care?
Why would I care? If I sit on a bus, there's an empty seat, like two seats. I will sit
everybody's
there.
avoiding you like a plague.
Then I would be like, okay, they obviously don't like white people. What am I supposed to do about it? I can't change it.
Exactly. They obviously don't like white people.
Okay, so let that be it.
Now, your brain, the next strain of thought would be, they obviously don't like me.
Exactly.
What have I done?
But I know that I haven't done anything. That's why I wouldn't have an issue with it. See my point? Like these issues lie on whoever is having the emotion, right?
So you think it's okay in society to have such segregation?
I went to a lecture once when I was working in the hospitality service. We had to go through these I don't know what you call them, kind of educational purposes. It could be like psychology. No, it could be like a psychology, like a psychology class or whatever. And we learned so much about the human psychology. And the first thing we learned was emotions, right? So if somebody is mad at you or somebody hates you, the first thing you learn in this class is that it's not actually you. Get it? It's the person who beholds those thoughts that has the issue. And this is my point. This is what I would be carrying with me to that bus. I wouldn't care because I know that I haven't done anything wrong.
I don't agree with your approach because if it's just a handful of people that do that, then you can kind of tolerate it.
You can accept it.
You can accept it.
Okay.
But when it's the majority,
right?
Let me say you change like 5 bosses and you kind of notice the same thing, then it's a big issue because, okay, good. They are choosing not to sit close to me in the bus.
Yeah.
What is the next stage? What is the next level? They don't want to sit close to me at work or during lunchtime. The black guy is always alone seated, having lunch on his own.
Yeah, of course, that's not acceptable because that's already,
and
work is a different
this can
place.
expand into every aspect of society.
Yeah.
Let me say you go to the bank to, make transactions and there's kind of a line, a queue at the bank and everybody just, when they see you coming, everybody just get off the line.
Yeah, this is of course wrong, but I think these things, as we've talked about before, it's hard to change overnight,
But segregation, the segregation does exist and it's a bad thing. Do you agree it's bad?
It's bad, but I also think it needs to be accepted to a level. Not fully, don't get me wrong, but it needs to be accepted to a level. Because in the same way, if I would go to like a restaurant, now it's an example. If I would go to a restaurant, let's say there's not that much people, but like on the other side, there is a white family sitting and eating, and there's some tables available there. And on the other side, there's maybe black people dining, tables available there. Where do you think I would go and sit down?
You choose the white people.
Exactly. And why?
Because you're a racist.
No, absolutely not. Because that's where I'm more comfortable. This is human nature. This is psychology. This has nothing to do with racism.
Okay. Let's take this to the past.
Humans go with habits, right? What we're comfortable with, what goes in our nature. We follow like that path.
Yeah. Let's take it to the past now. Okay, back then, in the heights of slavery and, where black people were being oppressed and seen lesser than an animal.
Yeah.
There were these rules. I'm not just talking about America or Europe now.
Right.
Even in Africa, South Africa, there are these rules, like maybe public bathroom.
Right.
It will be written clearly there, whites only. Maybe at the park bench, whites only.
Yeah, we're in the past.
Maybe
now.
in the pool, maybe No, it's still very prevalent in South Africa today.
Today?
Yes, because I've seen a video of it's like a public pool, but there were a bunch of white guys trying to stop black kids from swimming in the pool.
In 2024 or 2023?
Just a couple of years back, maybe 2022 or thereabout. Right. I saw the videos. I saw the videos online. I was upset by it because, I thought this only happened in the past. But present day, in the technological world, in the global world, it still happens. Wow. Also, there's also an example in Nigeria. These are the Chinese people now, not Europeans. They opened a Chinese restaurant in Lagos, Nigeria. Yeah. And they were refusing to serve black people in that restaurant.
Because? Did they have a reason or? No
reason. Racism,
they must,
I think. They were refusing to serve black people. And if they must serve you, you must be a guest of a Chinese person. Means you have to come there with a Chinese person.
Okay, but they're restaurants, so their rules apply, or no? Don't you think?
It's not right.
Maybe the
restaurant
right,
was shut down.
Yeah, but if that's the way they choose to operate their business, then...
And what terrifies me more is that you are seated here and you're trying to give justification for segregation.
Of course, it's their business. I mean, they should be able to do what they want as long as it's not violent to anyone, right?
Oh, can I open a restaurant in Stockholm and say blacks only?
Try it. See how it will go.
I know how it will turn out.
Yeah, exactly.
My restaurant will be shut down the very second it opens.
And why is that?
Because segregation is bad.
And maybe our government then made sure that the people are aware of it, right? Trying to fix issues in this
exactly
in the community,
exactly.
Right? So why is Nigeria then not doing the same thing? Why are they allowing these things to happen?
I told you that they shut down.
Okay.
The Nigerian authorities shut down this establishment because you can't be in Africa and be racist to Africans.
Well, then there is no issue, right?
But what I'm saying is segregation is still very prevalent in Europe today.
Maybe. I guess it depends on how you see it. I think also with segregation, since you say that it's still
prevalent
today in Europe, in a way, I also think that it can be good.
How?
Imagine like immigrants when they come to a country and they are put like they're going to a city, and usually, at least up in Northern Europe, we have like areas in a city, right?
Refugee camps?
Not really. You don't. Well, we have those too, but I mean, like maybe after the camp, and they're maybe given an apartment to start up their life. Yeah. Usually, these apartments. I mean, these people usually go to the same places in a city, like in a suburb somewhere.
That means bunch of refugees together in a particular area.
Yeah, exactly. And don't you think that when they do this, even if some people might think that it's bad,
it is bad.
Okay, but I see it from another point of view where that imagine these people, they're coming from a totally different kind of culture, a different life, and they're ending up here, which is also totally like new for them. Everything is new people, new way of living, stores are new, everything is new. Don't you think there's a bit of comfort to have people around you that are a bit similar to yourself, maybe even from the same country, who knows? Don't you think that in that way, segregation can be a positive thing?
No, the thing you are failing to understand is those Africans that come to Europe, to seek asylum and, end up becoming refugees and stuff, they are usually mixed with other refugees. People from Asia, people from North Africa, South, scattered all over Africa, So they might not share the same culture because Africa is very diverse when it comes to culture. And them being together in the same space in a new country. Okay, what is the opposite of segregation? Integration, right? So when you get to a country, the first goal of the government of that country is to integrate those people into the society. not segregate them.
To learn the language.
Exactly.
Get to know the way of living,
Not
culture.
segregate them. So this
right.
example that you just gave further proves my point. You know, like immigrant, they come into your country to seek asylum or whatever,
Right.
and you just kept them in a particular area.
Yeah.
How will they integrate?
Yeah, they probably won't.
Exactly.
Not fast, at least.
Exactly. Segregation is bad.
Yeah. Okay, in that point of view, okay, I get it from that way.
You see,
of
even the
seeing-
positive light that you're trying to throw, you know, it's negative.
So what do you think they should do?
I think integration
Yeah, but in what way?
is the solution.
What would you say is the best way to integrate a migrant into a new country?
First, mix them with the people. Mix
With
them with the people.
natives of that country.
Native of that country. So they understand the laws of your land.
Right.
You know? Know what is right, know what is wrong.
So give them an apartment where mostly white people, for example, live.
Just spread them across. Spread them across your country. Don't put them in a particular local government or local area. You know, there's no opportunity to integrate when you put them, when you keep them segregated, you know? And that is the major issue now.
Yeah.
That's the major issue in Europe. When immigrants come to Europe, you know, they are usually segregated.
Yeah, mostly.
Not
That's true.
out. Sometimes it might be outrightly.
Yeah.
Because I've heard stories from Africans that are in Germany.
Yeah.
They said they are not even allowed to leave the place that they were kept without, you know, without asking for permission. Like, let me say you are in
Sounds
Stuttgart.
like a prison.
Yeah, let me say you are in Stuttgart in Germany now.
Yeah.
You are not allowed to leave that commune. Like, if they kept you in Stuttgart and let me say you find you are in Berlin, they are going to quarrel you. Like, why are you leaving?
Why is it like that? Do you know?
Because of segregation.
So they don't want those people roaming around or what?
Exactly. They just want you to be, you know, to be excluded.
But is it like a safety thing, you think?
Initially, I would say if you are still in a refugee camp, then segregation is, I would say, is okay to keep these people in a particular area.
Yeah, makes sense.
You know, just so you can have enough time to process their data, to know where they are coming from, to know if they've committed crimes, if they've been in jail, if they escaped prison, you know, to gather all this data. But when you've done your coalition of this data and you've given that immigrant a residence card, they should be allowed to live, you know, anywhere in the city.
But do they do like background checks and stuff on all these people?
Of course they do.
On everyone.
I think
they do a background check.
Of course they
do.
To
make sure that they're not criminals or
they do.
Convicted.
You know, some people that escape war, most of them, they do lose their documents, right? They don't have any legal documents.
So how would they do a background check on
those people?
Which this then will be a security risk for other people in that country, right?
Yeah. So,
exactly.
So putting them in a camp is, you know, I won't kick against it. I'll say it's the right approach until you know, establish, you know, some sort of trust that, okay, this person is a good person and is coming to my country for a positive purpose. Yeah. You know, either to stay safe, to keep himself safe, or to get a better life.
Right.
Yeah, I would say it's good. But those people that don't have documents, they might stay longer in the camp until their case has been established and, you know, before you can give them a residence card and let them go integrate into the population. But where I find issue is that you kept them in a refugee camp. You've gotten all the information you need. Yeah. You know that, okay, this person is legit. He left his country for specific reasons that are valid, and now I've decided to accept them into my society. Once that is established, don't segregate them. If you want to give them housing, don't give them housing amongst other refugees, like they are still, you know, like they are on a parole.
So for you to integrate a person, step one, put them in a white community.
Not per se, don't target the white community. You know, put them among the general population in a normal way, not specifically white. Yeah. Like there are other Africans, there are African, they are black Australians, they are black Canadians, just put them without having that consideration for segregation. Because if you start to put that in mind, like, okay, these people, they might likely commit crime. Now you are being prejudiced now. So if that is forcing your hand to put them in a particular area, a particular region, then it's wrong. It becomes segregation. But let me say, okay, you have like 1,000 apartments scattered all over the country. Just make it fair.
Okay, so I need to say one thing now, because I remember a few years back in Sweden, where we are now, there were immigrants that came. I don't remember I think it was Middle East something. I'm not sure. I can't say. They came here for asylum, I think. Yeah. They went through the whole process of being approved, blah, blah, blah. They were put on a bus to go from the refugee camp to their new homes, right? So they were put on these buses, which took them. Sweden is a very long country, right? So we have like the south, we have the north, and the north is way up there, like it's crazy drive from even.
It's cold.
Yeah,
it's
cold. It's cold. And it's also like very empty. It's mostly forest, right? Yeah. There's cities, of course, but like they're not really populated in that way. So it's kind of a calm place. No big cities, really. So they were put on these buses, right? They took them up there. And what did they do? They refused to get off the buses. Do you know why?
Why?
Because they wanted to be in the big city. Get it? They didn't want to go there. So they were given, they were given a chance to go to a calm community where mostly Swedish people were, native Swedish, right? They didn't want to go there. They refused. It was on the news. They refused to get off the bus. They refused.
See, the thing that you are failing to understand is this, people that are escaping their countries, maybe they have war in their countries.
Yeah, but shouldn't they be so happy that they're coming to a place which is calm?
But they
peaceful.
Are not coming. They are not coming to your country to die.
Who's saying that they're dying? They will get a peaceful home.
The north is very cold. Some people cannot tolerate cold weather.
Is cold. Yeah, but it's a starting point. Like, shouldn't you still be grateful that you're alive? You're being fed.
Yes.
You have a roof over your head.
Yes.
You're being taken care of. Maybe the location is not exactly where you want to be now.
Wait.
Doesn't mean that you can't move later.
I have no issue with
I think it's a horrible
what
attitude.
The Swedish
I'm
government
sorry.
did.
I think it's a bad attitude.
Taking them up north, I have no issue with that.
Because there was space there, there were apartments available. Like, they did what they could to help these people, and they did, but they refused.
But is it a permanent? Is it a permanent location?
Nothing is permanent. I think it was just like a starting point for them, and of course they can move later on, probably.
Yeah. So I think that issue has a lot to do with communication. Maybe for people to, they were going to go fix them up there, right? Give them an apartment. That's
everything. What I think it was exactly.
But for people to reject such opportunity and say they want to be in the city, it might be that
I think it's being very ungrateful.
It might be that they've gotten some information about the said location.
Yeah.
Because let me give you an example here. Because I've been on same routes.
Yeah.
Because I came in Sweden to seek asylum. I came from Ukraine, by the way. So when I first got to Sweden, we were kept at a location. The immigration officer told us that it's going to be temporary. We'll be there not more than 2 weeks, a couple of weeks, till they have us resituated to a permanent place, right? So we kind of had faith in that and believed it. But 3 months went by.
Yeah, it took longer.
They still didn't resituate us. Yeah. And I can remember this same thing you said. I can remember them transferring other immigrants to other people that came to seek asylum. They were transferring them to where we were at, But these people refused to get down from the bus.
Yeah. You see?
Do you know why? Because an information leaked to those people that if they move you here, you will never leave here.
But why wouldn't you be able to leave, though? What would stop you from leaving?
Exactly. See, the process, when we got in here, we were told that you won't be there for more than a week. Now we are there for 3 months. And the person in charge of that facility told us that we will never leave here, that we should start, planting, making gardens, creating stuff, just to make the place as comfortable as possible, because we're going to be there for a very, very long time.
So you were supposed to settle there?
Yes.
Okay.
You see how quick the story changed.
Yeah.
So don't blame it on immigrants. It might be the information, or maybe they were lied to. And these said people that refused to get down from the bus, they were in another camp that was like ours, right? And they were told that they were being transferred into a permanent location, like an apartment.
Right.
And they brought them to another facility, which we were at. Just a tiny room, and it was just the place was dilapidated because it was like an emergency. They didn't really build the place. The place is an old structure,
but isn't it still
that was due for demolition?
Yeah,
but because they had nowhere else to put us, they just kept us there as a temporary situation.
Right.
But now there's a bus outside carrying, hundreds of immigrants to resituate them into that same place. That place that was tagged temporary for us, you are bringing people there as a permanent site. Of course, they won't get out of the bus.
Kind of ungrateful, to be honest, still.
We
As I said, I mean, you're in a safe country. There is no war. You have food. You have heating. You have ceiling.
Safe is not enough. Safe is not enough.
Oh, so you'd rather be in the country where you fled from? Then.
No, I'm telling you that
you can just go back.
Safe is not enough. You are running from war doesn't take away your human rights, You are running from war doesn't take away your human rights.
That has nothing to do with it, though. You're still giving everything that you were not giving back there.
No, it doesn't matter now. The main thing is you've accepted me into your country. You've given me your residence card, right? And now you are putting me in a place that is not conducive. Like when I mean conducive, I'm not talking about I want to live in a mansion, in a penthouse or whatever. I'm talking about a place where I can't get jobs. I'm talking. This is the middle of the forest here. The closest grocery store is like 30 minutes away.
But Swedish people live there too. For example,
They live there. These are old people. These are old people that are in their retirement age. That they have cars. They can literally drive to the mall and back. But you don't have that leverage. You don't have that leverage. I'm not talking about the city. I'm not talking about Stockholm or going to Malmo or something. I'm talking about a place that has at least a bit of civilization. Because most of these people, they came from major cities.
Yeah, probably, but
major cities. Like, okay, let me give an example. With the Ukrainians now. With the Ukrainians, some of them, they came from Kiev. Like most people will say Kiev. And in Kiev, they have all basic advancement, like civilization. Kiev is a very beautiful city. It beats a lot of European cities.
Well, not what I've seen.
It beats a lot of European cities. I can tell you that for a fact.
Your opinion, you're allowed to have it.
But now, these people fled their homes. Maybe they might be rich, they might be poor, who knows? They left their homes, they left it behind to your country. And
that helps them.
The best you can do for them is to put them in the middle of the jungle, cut them away from civilization.
Honestly,
people are going through depression. People are going through
but do you know what?
PTSD.
Can I tell you something?
And you are keeping them in a forest, in a bush.
Let me tell you something. Do you know how hard it is in Sweden to get an apartment these days? It's impossible. It's full. Like there are no apartments. Like kids, or they're not kids anymore, young teen or old teenagers, they're even over 20. They still live at home because there are no apartments to rent.
Look.
Unless you buy. Like there's nothing to rent. And then we have immigrants coming that think they're just going to get apartments that we have been queuing for 10 years.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Your government, they are not stupid.
It's a joke.
Before they accept immigrants, they kind of know
exactly
how many immigrants can we accommodate.
Exactly. And they have spots, but they don't want to be there.
I'm telling you that those spots,
they don't want to be there.
Wait.
That's the issue.
This is not being ungrateful yet.
It is.
Right? It's not being ungrateful. But imagine.
A home is given and you're saying no to it because it's not in the location you want it to be. That's even worse than just not being grateful.
I just gave you an instance,
I think you're privileged in some way.
I'm not going to
any Swede.
I'm not going to give example. I'm not going to conjure an example and use it here. I'm talking about something that I saw, that I experienced in Sweden. I'm telling you that they told us that we're going to be in that facility for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But 3 months went by and we still didn't hear anything. And the story changed. And they are not telling us that is the permanent site. That's the permanent location. That's where we will live for years
I don't
with no
think
access to
they
facilities,
didn't give
with
you
no
a
access
time
to jobs.
stamp, though. They didn't give
I'm
you a
telling you that
time
is what
stamp.
they told us.
Yeah, but they didn't say that, oh, you need to be here forever. I don't think that's what they said.
Okay, look now.
They said that your permanent location is here, but nothing is stopping you from moving around.
Let me make it personal. Let me make it personal. Okay, let me use you as an example. You went to seek an asylum in, let me say, France. And the French people, they told you, we're going to put you in a facility for just 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's not a permanent site. We just want to get things in order so we can resituate you in that apartment. You said, okay, fine. I can, I'm very grateful for this. Yeah, you were grateful. And they kept you there.
Yeah.
This place was isolated. The middle of the jungle. You could literally see animals like bears or whatever going through your window at night. Then you were like, oh, it's just 2 weeks. I can live with this for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Then 1 month passed. So you can see, like I was saying, the people have a right to complain, You have a right.
Yeah, if you're being treated badly, I understand. Like if you're being treated like a dog. But in this case, nobody has been.
But I told you about the experience, my experience, with the immigration and all the processes, all the bureaucracy.
Were you treated poorly, in your opinion?
I would say,
like in humanitarian way.
I would say not really treated poorly, but in terms of getting access to, let me say, to a store. Maybe you want to buy. Especially when you come with kids now, when you come with a newborn and younger children that are not acclimatized to the country and to the food.
Yeah.
Now you have to go out and go get your own food.
Right.
So I would say in that aspect, it wasn't right.
It would have been better if you would have had the migration camp closer to a bigger city.
Closer to
or a bigger town at
least. Closer to a town. It must not be bigger. Just a town where I can get amenities. Basic facilities and amenities. Like, let me say, my son wants yogurt. I would just go to the store and get him that.
Yeah.
And okay, imagine those people that came with, that totally lost everything to the war. Their properties, they didn't have cash, to get stuff. Yeah. Imagine keeping them in the bush with no access to civilization, to life. It's like it kind of gives that concentration camp feeling. Right.
Well, it's not that bad. I think that's taking it a bit too far.
It's really. That bad because when I was in the camp, I saw younger kids fall sick. When I mean sick, fall sick, and you can't really, because we're in the bush, you can't really reach an ambulance. Even me, I felt sick myself.
So you're telling me there was no help to get. There
was no help. I also see this as it also has a problem to do with the administrative. Those that were kept in charge of us, they were corrupt.
In what way?
In the sense that every now and then we do have volunteers stop by to help, maybe clothes or stuff.
Yeah.
But these people, these administrative, they kind of kept everything for themselves, instead of giving it to the people that needed it the most, the people that they donated it for.
So the donations that were given to the refugee camp were taken by staff?
Staffs, those administratives that were there,
okay.
So it was kind of a toxic environment, and it was specifically difficult because you don't know what the future holds. You don't know if you'll be there forever, if you'll be there for 5 years, 10 years.
Yeah, there is insecurity.
You have no clue.
Yeah.
You have no clue. And with the authorities changing their narrative that this will be a permanent site for you. It kind of is demoralizing,
So would you then say that segregation, that we have today is because of these things? That this is a part of that segregation?
I'm telling you that is an example of segregation.
Yeah.
And this conversation started when you gave an example of, some immigrant that they take up north and they refuse to get down from the bus.
Exactly.
Because they want to be in the city.
Which is crazy.
I'm giving you a valid explanation.
We were trying to stop segregation. Imagine,
why is that?
Sweden was trying to, stop the
Segregation.
Sweden was trying to stop the segregation
By taking them to an isolated
to
place.
not put them in the same places
To an
as they
isolated
have
place
done
in
so
the north
far.
where nobody lives.
Well,
No, it's not. That is segregation on its own.
It's not.
That's
they would have
segregation.
been mixed there with the native Swedish people that live there.
Mixed there with the native Swedish people.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
Exactly.
I love Sweden, but
why is there always a but?
Are there really people in Sweden? Because I've been to your local villages and you there's no one on the street, literally.
It's empty, yeah.
It's empty.
We have like 10.5 million people.
Who are you integrating with?
It's a small population.
Yeah, small population, huge space area, to accommodate people.
Yeah.
I think the government needs to be practical when it comes to, building
housing
facilities or infrastructures
right.
for immigrants. And integration should be prioritized.
Yeah.
Before ethnicity or race or country or whatever. Integration comes first. That's why in America today, you find all kinds of people in America. You can find a Chinese American, an African American, a European American.
Yeah.
That is what makes the country so beautiful. Because let's say America is at war with another country. I'm telling you that the military, you see all kind of races. You see an Asian person there in their military uniform. You see an African. Yeah. You see a European. You see an Australian. This is what makes the country strong.
Would you fight for Sweden?
For you to...
I think that most migrants will say no.
No, most migrants...
So they're actually making this whole problem by themselves.
Most migrants will defend Sweden and fight for Sweden.
That's not true, actually.
Do you know why?
That's not true.
Do you know why? Because Sweden is liberal. It's a very liberal country. And human rights, it's high priority.
Yeah, it's high priority. It always has been.
LGBT rights.
Yeah.
And all those, you guys
You're
are known
free
for
to
this.
live your life the way you want to live your life.
What is that lady's name? Thunberg.
Greta Thunberg.
Greta Thunberg. She's fighting a cause for nature.
Yeah. I
So
guess most people in the world knows her name by now.
Exactly. You guys are more, let me say, more liberal and more humanitarian. You guys have humanitarian qualities.
We do.
Which I will applaud. That is the only reason I will say I will fight for Sweden. If a war comes, I'll fight for Sweden because I want those values to be preserved. But in other things, in terms of segregation and other things, there's a lot that the country needs to do.
Don't you think that Sweden is in a way like protecting our tiny little country and our little cute culture so it doesn't get too infected by other things?
Infected by other things? Like by segregating people?
Yeah.
No, I would say, look, Sweden is just 10 million people.
Yeah, 10 and a half or something, yeah. I don't know.
10 million people, and that is very tiny.
It's very small population.
There's a state in my country, Nigeria, called Lagos. The population is about 20 million. I'm talking about just a city now.
Yeah.
20 million people in one city. And we have over 32 states in Nigeria. So in terms of population, I would say your population is tiny, and at the same time, it has a lot of potentials.
Yeah.
In terms of integrating other people into your country, because when it comes to economics and military and various aspects of society, you need population, you need manpower, to be great.
We are growing and we are integrating a lot of people, especially like where I live. There are people from all over all over the world.
Exactly.
It's not just like, Swedish people and white people. That's not how it is.
Exactly. I don't have issues with segregation in the sense that I think the government, the Swedish government, they don't really partake directly with segregation. I think it has something more to do with the people now, the people that still have those racist motives.
Like the mentality that immigration is wrong.
Yes, immigration is wrong. They don't want to see foreigners. They don't want to, you know.
The culture crashes. You know, there are a lot of things that I think is the issue. Because all these people, they bring in all these cultures, and it's just like it's too much, honestly.
So let's agree now that segregation is a very bad thing.
I mean,
it's
It
detrimental
has some good sides
for the society
to it.
There are no good sides to segregation.
Well, that's your opinion.
Like separating a particular race from the other race just because of something as simple as skin color, something as superficial.
Let's just agree to disagree of this. Just allow me my opinion, and I allow you your opinion.
Yeah, but you must integrate. You must integrate because it doesn't affect you alone. It affects other people, you know? So it's not just your action. But
it's still up to every country to do their own thing. Like, I can't just go to Namibia and be like, oh, hi, I'm here. Take care of me. I want this and that, and I want to live there. They will be like, who are you?
That's a difference now. In Namibia, if you go to Namibia...
It was an example.
Yeah, if you go to any other... I
couldn't remember another country.
If you go to African countries as a white person, I believe you... believe me, you won't experience segregation. What you experience more is curiosity.
Right.
Like people will be curious about you. They want to, communicate with you to learn from your ideas. Maybe you are bringing something different. They want to know where you're from. It's just an act of interest.
But it's also, you need to, okay, I get what I see. I totally see your point. And Sweden would be exactly the same way if it would be about one person or 100. But we're talking about hundreds of thousands every year. You need to understand it would be different if we would be getting 10 people or 100 people a year from different countries migrating to Sweden, for example. But we're talking about hundreds of thousands.
Hundreds of thousands.
No, it's true. Every year.
Every year.
So of course it becomes like a shock.
No, I don't think the number is that high.
I'm pretty sure it is.
No.
We will check it out later, but I'm pretty sure.
I think in the whole of Europe, I believe that these northern European countries, they get the least amount of immigrants seeking what do they call it? Seeking Asylum, yes. Because it's cold, come on.
Yeah, but we don't have the space. Even if the countries are huge, like there's no housing. Get it? Like we're not prepared for that kind of population because we never had it. So when these hundreds of thousands come, it gets hard, Like our own youths don't have places to go to move out from their,
So that's the reason you don't want to sit with Africans in the bus.
That's a safety issue now.
Because they are bringing safety issues. Like we are criminals. Like you're going to get robbed.
Some of you are.
Is that why you don't want to sit with an immigrant in the bus? Because you are scared. What are you scared of?
Personal experience.
Do you even know your history? Do you know that Europeans, they've committed the most heinous crimes, genocide attacks in the whole history of humankind? Do you know that?
I know that white people have done a lot of genocides.
We should be the one that is practicing
people.
this segregation act on you. Yeah. Because if I'm in a bus or the subway and a lot of Europeans are refusing to sit close to me, I don't have problem with it. Mm-hmm. I don't have problem with it because it even gives me more room to to relax.
Right.
In the train or in the bus.
That's the same way I would feel.
But not everybody. Not everybody. Some people do have deep issues with it. Like, it's like you are a plague that people are trying to avoid.
We can't help everyone. We need to let people do their thing, As long as it's not violent. That's the way I live my life. You live your life the way you want to live it. As long as you're not hurting someone physically with your actions. Words are just words, It's up to you to choose what you do if someone is cursing at you or calling you names. That's on you, So,
So let's just say end segregation, right?
Whatever floats your boat. It's all good.
You're a racist.
I'm not.
Okay, guys, if you've enjoyed, smash the like button, place a comment down below, and see you on the next one.
See you on the next one. Take care.